I know how the Commanders are going to beat the Giants in week 1 with or without Terry McLaurin. Don't believe me? Pay attention. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Full Command Show. My name is Grant Mitchell, and we are here to talk about everything involving the Washington Commanders. Got a really cool video lined up for you today. Little break from the news, but that being said, I already posted a video earlier today with big news coming out of Commanders practice earlier today. Cliff Kingsbury sending the most direct shots, direct line of communication at Terry McLaurin that anyone on the coaching staff has up to this point. If you want the short version of it, Cliff basically said, hey, Terry, you're under contract. We got a game in 3 weeks. Get you behind to practice. So a lot of information shared in that video, more updates on the Terry situation, plus some other news, young players getting opportunities, an unexpected potential starter, key member of the defense. All that's in the video earlier today. If you want to check that out, hit pause on this video, go to watch that one. Make sure you leave a like on it. Don't forget that. Come back to this one, like that one as well, and then press play. No, I'm kidding, but we are going to get into an awful lot in this video. And guys, if you are new to this channel, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button. If you're a returning subscriber, I appreciate you guys tremendously. And hopefully you all enjoy this content because I've been hesitant to really break down an upcoming matchup. I put out a game 1 preview, but really it was me talking about general concepts and players. But I realized that I've done a lot of talking about the Giants in this week 1 matchup. And I've talked about how the Giants are undervalued and disrespected a little bit, talked about how they are an opponent that is to be feared. I've said numerous times, I think by the end of the year, we will agree they have the best defensive line in football. I've said that there's concerns without Terry there. The starting guards are missing. Noah Brown is absent. There's a lot of uncertainty there, but certainly he's not at practice right now. That's what we know. So I don't want to say that I've been fear-mongering because that's not my intent, but I have been sounding the alarm bells on the Giants. And I thought, instead of just dancing around and giving some lip service out there, let me actually talk about my thoughts on how this matchup is going to shape up, what I expect to happen, and the key one-on-one battles that I want to keep my eye on. So before I get into any of this, I want to give a huge shout out to Eagles Eric. He was on the channel previously. We recorded a really cool video last week. It was over an hour long, so it's definitely, if you're not doing anything, like if you're mowing the lawn, you got a long drive, save it for that. But Eric is an awesome dude. You can find him on Twitter at Eagles X's and O's. He is an Eagles fan, but he puts out NFL content for the whole league, and it's unbiased. So highly recommend him. I bring him up because I'm using data he posted, again, at Eagles X's and O's on Twitter. And I want to make sure that he gets his credit, make sure that you guys check him out if you are interested in any of this analytical stuff. But so let me talk about the Commanders' offense and how I expect their battle with the Giants' defense. Again, a Giants' defense that I have a lot of respect for, think they have the best defensive line in football. How can the Commanders beat that if they don't have their top 2 outside receivers? And right now, they're missing both of their starting guards. We have no clue if Sam Cosmi is going to be available for week 1 or not. And at the rate with Brandon Coleman, it seemed from the reporting that the ankle injury he suffered, I believe it was last Sunday, wasn't the biggest deal in the world. Was it last Sunday or the Sunday before? I can't even remember now. It seemed like it wasn't significant, but he hasn't been back at practice, and we haven't really gotten an update. So a lot of just question marks with this team right now. So I wanted to, like I said, jump into what I expect to happen. So the Giants ran cover 1 and cover 3 well above league average last year. They wanted to use more aggressive man coverage, again, in that cover 1 alignment. And in cover 3, they were confident in their corners holding up against the receivers they faced. Whether or not that's a smart decision depends on how you feel about the Giants' cornerback situation. But right now, the Commanders don't have their top outside receivers. So it's almost a moot point because this Commanders version right now, which I'm operating under the assumption Terry McLaurin is not playing in week 1. That's not necessarily a reflection of my feelings, but it's a reflection of the current situation. So I don't want to create a game plan where Terry McLaurin is involved if he's not showing up to practice right now. So on one hand, if you're running cover 1, let's say, which was the Giants, if you look at the deviation between league average to what they ran, they favored cover 1 more than the rest of the league favored a certain coverage by the highest degree. So if you're running cover 1, you're playing into the Commanders' hands to a certain extent because you're giving man coverage, meaning that you're isolating your secondary players aside from your post safety, and you've got one linebacker presumably a linebacker in a zone guarding the middle of the field. And that's not a lot for Jayden Daniels to get by. If he beats the spy, it's out of there. It could be a big play. Also, with Terry McLaurin, you're putting one of the best contested catch receivers in single coverage on an island. Well, without Terry, this becomes a lot different because the Commanders right now don't have proven man-beater receivers. So on the one hand, you're giving the Commanders the looks they want by allowing Jayden to run, but you're also not wasting extra bodies. You're not forcing unnecessary communication with zone coverage when you know the Commanders receivers can't beat man coverage. So let's just keep it simple. Let's put them in man, and that allows us to send extra blitzers at the quarterback. Now you can let Abdul Carter and Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns, they can pin their ears back, and now they're flying after the quarterback. So it's a give and take there, which is also very similar to the defense the Commanders want to run, which I'll get into later in this video. But if you're asking me, what is the game plan for the Commanders to beat a defense that has this hellacious defensive front, you don't have man-beater receivers, and you're going against a cover one focused defense? There's some key points that I want to hit on. Number one, there's a phrase in football that you'll hear everywhere. Cover one, make them run. Don't get fancy with these intricate downfield passing concepts. Give me mesh. Give me a lot of short crossers, in routes, digs. You want everything quick. If we can't win off the release, and if we can't use our strength to get free, if we can't wiggle and create separation, if we can't make these jump ball contested catches, then let's use our speed. Jaylin Lane, you ran a 4.3. Take one step, go horizontal. Just get open that way, break away from the zone, whether it's a first window, second window throw. Your 4.3 speed, the Giants defender should not be keeping up with you as long as you don't get jammed up on the line of scrimmage. That's one way to beat it. Another, get the ball in Deebo Samuel's hands quickly, whether these are RPOs, bubble screens, however you want to do it. If you can get the ball to Deebo, Deebo has led the NFL in yards after the catch for 4 straight seasons. So you need good blocking from the receivers. But let's just imagine that we've got trips to the right. Deebo is one of the guys over there. And then you've got someone else on the left. Receiver, tight end, doesn't matter. Everybody's manned up. It's cover one. So you've got 3 defensive backs lined up over the trips receivers. Get the ball in Deebo's hands quickly. You need good blocking from the 2 receivers next to him, and then you need him to break a tackle. Again, whether this is a screen, whatever route we're going with, we need the ball in his hands quickly, because if that defender, if his man defender, if he can't make the tackle, his job is to at least slow down Deebo enough to allow the cavalry to get there. So whoever the post safety is, whoever's guarding the middle of the field, the linebacker, they're trying to rotate over as quickly as they can. So Deebo, whether we're using our blockers, whether we're trucking our defender, whether we're juking him, using his pursuit angle against him, whatever we're doing, it's got to happen fast. This is going to be death by 1,000 paper cuts. We're looking for 7-8 yard plays on these screens, whatever concept it is. Short, quick game. Force the Giants to come out of that package. Make it so that they can't, again, get pressure after the quarterback, and you force them to play your game. If you don't do that, people are probably thinking to themselves, what about the running game? How's that going to work out? My advice would be zone read. And I actually remember last year, someone asked Cliff Kingsbury, what's the difference between zone read and read option? He said, I don't know. They asked Dan Quinn. He said, I don't know. So I guess they're synonymous now. But zone read option, whatever you want to call it. And this needs to include Jayden Daniels. He needs to be ready to run. And he's put on the muscle. I would assume that he's not lost any speed, because putting on muscle can actually make you faster, but he's able to absorb more hits now. And he's got to be ready to run. B-Rob's got to be ready. Bill's got to be ready. The boys got to be ready to pound the rock. I would run zone read again against this cover one defense, because if you've got everybody manned up, your running backs, your receivers, your tight ends, they're all facing man coverage one final time with the post safety, and your linebacker covering the zone in the middle of the field. If you get this zone read, you're eliminating a defensive end from the play, or whoever the edge defender is, because you're putting him in conflict. If he crashes down on the running back, now you've got the quarterback bursting out to the side. If you stay out and you keep your contained, then you hand off to the running back, and now you don't even have to block the defensive end, because he's totally out of the play. He's essentially playing man coverage on the quarterback, who no longer even has the ball at this point. So what that does is that gives you an extra blocker on the offensive line. That blocker needs to shoot up to the second level, find the linebacker, And now if everybody's holding their blocks, and this is a lot of pressure again on the receivers on the outside, the receivers got to hold their blocks. But what you have essentially done is you have taken that running back, or if Jayden has it, the quarterback, and you've got them one-on-one with the post safety who's crashing down. That's the theoretical analysis of how this would work. Now, are you going to be able to sustain your blocks for 3, 4, 5 seconds? It's not always going to work out. In fact, it's very rarely going to work out. But if you're getting 4 yards, that's a win, because really, if you're going for it on 4th down, you just need 3 yards of play. And I'm not expecting an explosive game from the Commanders. Let me say that. I'm not expecting 35 points. I think this could be like a 17-13 style of game. But if you're asking me, what are the ways that the offense finds success? Cover one, make them run. Horizontal routes. Quick actions to Deebo Samuel. They also have, apparently they've liked some of what Jaylin Lane does, and it makes sense because he's a punt returner as well, so he's got those instincts. Screens to those guys, short passes, and then zone read up at the point of attack, eliminate one of the edge defender, and beat one man. That's what you got to do when you're facing man coverage. You saw it with Terry McLaurin in that playoff game against the Lions. He gets the screen pass, beat one man, break the tackle, and then you beat the post safety to the end zone, and it's this 50-yard, 60-yard touchdown in the divisional round. I was talking really quick there, so I hope that everybody was able to keep up. Give me your thoughts on that game plan in the comment section below. On the other side of the football, the Commanders defense. The Commanders, guess what? They also like to run cover one as well. They did it well above the league average last year. And let's be honest, they were doing that with Benjamin St-Juste and Michael Davis. And no disrespect to those players, but they did not perform well. That is not a disrespectful thing to say. It is reflective of their performances. And when you're professional athletes, you subject yourself to criticism. You open yourself up to criticism. Theoretically, Marshawn Lattimore, Trey Amos, and Mike Sainristil should be better than Mike Sainristil as a rookie, Benjamin St-Juste, and Michael Davis, and Emmanuel Forbes. Let's put him in there as well. So all summer long, you've heard Joe Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn saying, we are going to be this aggressive man-style cover one defense. We're coming after you, and that's how we're going to play. The way we play isn't for everyone, but this is how we live. I can't tell you how many times I've heard them say that. So my best advice, and I'm not saying that I'm smarter than Joe Witt Jr. or anything like that. Don't mistake me. But what I would say if they sought my counsel was, you got to be quick to react. Malik Neighbors, in my opinion, is a top 5 receiver in the NFL already. He might go above that. He might be top 2, top 3 this season. If he is finding success early against Marshawn Lattimore or Trey Amos, whoever draws the assignment, switch him. Do not be slow to react, because he, just like a basketball player, you say a 3-point shooter is a microwave. Malik Neighbors is a microwave. It doesn't take a lot to get him going, and he can win you a game on his own as long as he gets the ball in his hands. And Russell Wilson, not going to win MVP this year, but he's better than Daniel Jones was. And Neighbors, in 2 games against the Commanders last year, had, I want to say, like 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. So this is a guy who can produce. Whether you're going to bracket him, whether you're going to go to other just zone coverage, whatever it is, do not be slow to react if Lattimore and or Amos are not finding success early on. Also, you got to win the running downs. This is the biggest thing. That front, that defensive front that you bulked up, you added size, you have to win 1st and 2nd down. Am I convinced the Commanders have one player who's going to hit 10 sacks this season? No. But I think there's a proof of concept that they're going to be able to apply pressure. Some of that is going to be because they play aggressive man coverage and they bring extra blitzers, which means they will give up big plays on the back end sometimes. But if they can trade that for getting the quarterback on the ground, getting sacks, getting sack fumbles, they're willing to play that game. Frankie Louvu had 8.5 sacks last year. Von Miller had 6 in 13 games and had one of the highest pass rush win rates in the NFL. Dorrance Armstrong has had a good camp. Dietrich Wise can get sacks. Jacob Martin can get sacks. Johnny Newton had a sack fumble in the preseason game. You can apply pressure if you earn the right to bring extra blitzers. So 1st down, 2nd down, you have to win. Set your defense up so you can apply pressure. The Giants' offensive line allowed the 2nd highest pressure rate in the entire NFL last season. So make them prove that they can beat you. Force them to adjust to what you are doing. Don't let them win the battle of the game plan, the battle of the clipboard. The key matchups, the one-on-ones that I want to see. Whoever is at guard against Dexter Lawrence. Sam Cosmi, Well, let me back up. A lot of times, because the defensive tackle might line up over the center, you think that it's his responsibility only. That's actually not the case. A lot of times the center is getting combo blocks, or the defensive tackle is peeling off. They're on a 3 technique. They're working on the guard, et cetera, et cetera. With Brandon Coleman not practicing, with Sam Cosmi not practicing, are either one of those guys going to be available? Are both of them? Are neither of them? I don't know. I'm going to assume that you're not getting Coleman and Cosmi both 100%. That's just my natural assumption. So we need some help with the guard spots. Whoever is lined up in front of Dexter Lawrence, that is the matchup to watch. We need some combo blocks. We need some traps. We need some whams. Don't instantly put your guard at a losing battle, because Dexter Lawrence is the best run stopper in the NFL, in my humble opinion. Again, big reason why I think the Giants just have this insane defensive line. Whoever's going up against him in a running situation is almost instantly losing, because most offensive linemen in the league are, especially if it's going to be 2 backups, Andrew Wiley, Nick Allegretti, whoever it is. And respect to those guys, because they played well last year, but I would certainly take Dexter Lawrence in a matchup against them. So don't leave them on an island. Again, come with combos, traps, run to the right side. If Dexter Lawrence is lining up on the left side, get a trap, get a wham. So you're coming across from the right side, you're hitting him, you're moving him horizontally, creating the holes. Don't try to run through him. It's not going to work out. Lattimore and Amos, whoever it is at the time, against Malik Neighbors. Are you going to be able to stay in front of him? Because if you can do that and you can play that aggressive man style coverage, this Giants offensive line, like I said, allowed pressure at the 2nd highest rate last year. So win your matchup outside. You'll probably win the matchup at the point of attack, and that means you're getting Russell Wilson on the ground. You're getting the ball out of his hands quickly. It's a bad decision. It's a poor timing. It's throwing the ball away. Whatever it is, you got to win on the outside. Deebo Samuel against whoever his man is in man coverage as well. Like I said, and this applies to Jaylin Lane as well, but these quick passes that I do expect a lot of. I say beating the man in front of you. I don't mean getting the release and then bursting past him for an 80-yard bomb of a touchdown. I mean, 1 step, turn, screen, break the tackle. Can you break his pursuit angle? Can you just run through him? Whatever it is, can you get around him and force the cavalry to come tackle you? Because even if they do, the assumption is that's 5-10 yards down the field, and it's a positive gain. And those consistent small plays will eventually lead to a chunk play. And then the final matchup, Jayden Daniels against Shane Bowen, who is the Giants defensive coordinator. Jayden's in his 2nd year. He was already very mentally advanced for a rookie. And it's easy to think he was so good. Man, I don't understand how he's going to get better. He was still a rookie. Don't do him a disservice by assuming he's not going to improve because he was better than what you expected. Is he at a disadvantage without Terry and Noah Brown compared to last year when he had Terry and Noah Brown? Yes, of course. But how has the mental side of his game evolved? What has he done this summer? What have those extra VR reps done? This training camp, your first real NFL training camp where you know what it's like, you know what your weaknesses were, you know what you got to improve on. What has that done for your game? Jayden Daniels versus Shane Bowen. That would be the final matchup for me to watch. Guys, a bit of a different video again today. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button. Go to the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are on my game plan for how I would beat the Giants if I were the head coach and everything went perfect. I don't think I'm smarter than Dan Quinn or Cliff Kingsbury or Joe Witt Jr., so don't leave any of those comments. That's not what I'm saying. I got to make content, and this is just what my thoughts are, and I appreciate all of your comments. So again, I'll meet you down there in the section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. My returning subscribers, love you, appreciate you. And as I always say, I will catch you in the next one. Have a great day.